for another Wednesday. So we did the father's or the dad's tie last time, and I made 2 of them. So I'm going to do the mother's choice this time. Now we're working out of a quilter's diary. This is the book by Mimi Dietrich. And I want to go ahead and I'm using the actual measurements in the mother's choice. Now I'm not doing the same kind of colors because I'm going to test this out. I'm only using 2 colors. This one uses 3 colors, and let me show you the picture right there. And the fabrics that I'm using are this really cute little flower fabric here, because I like it. And then for the white or the background, whatever you want to call it, the light color, I'm using this color. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut 3 out of the 4 of these and 3 of these. So I'm going to set them on here and just cut them, and we're cutting them in half. We're going to be real careful when we sew them. I really don't need this right here. I can just put it right down that. Just make sure your ruler is longer than your fabric. That's all you got to make sure you're doing. Like that. Then we're going to take them and we're going to sew them along this strip right here. And you want to be careful because see how this is giving? See that? That's stretch. That's on the bias. We don't want to stretch the bias. So just take your time and be very mindful of it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to sew all of these and we're going to chain sew them. Let's do that first. Now just like the tie, when I made it, remember how I made one first before I started so I could get the size. But even though I'm using the same size that's in here, the only difference is I went ahead and made 2 of these, and I made 1 because I wasn't sure if I used 2 colors instead of 3 that it was going to actually look okay, or if it was going to be too busy and you not be able to tell what it actually was supposed to look like. But it worked, so that's why I kept it like that. Otherwise I would have went ahead and changed out my colors. So now it's just all about making sure I don't stretch this out as I sew it. And I actually finger pressed, which I will show you instead of ironing it. I just finger pressed it open, but I did cut my little tips or ears or whatever you want to call it. I cut them off. Now on my first one I did not mark anything, but I will show you how to mark it so that you don't lose the tips on here, because we're going to be putting them together and you don't want to be losing all the tips. And you can use as many colors as you want to make this flower. I think the stuff that's supposed to be sticking out to the right and the left of this is supposed to be greenery for the leaves, but I didn't want to do that. So the block won't be very big because remember, these are only 9-inch blocks. Now all it really means to do when you want to finger press this open, you just take it, open it up, and then you're just squeezing it and rubbing it like that. And then I took all these little tips off, which are called ears or tails or whatever, and I just cut them off because I finger pressed. I didn't want to go and use my rotary cutter. I wanted to make sure that I kept that pressed before I cut those off. And that's all there is to it. And then before I put anything together, I'm going to lay them all out here and then just sew them in rows. So go ahead and finger press or iron all of yours open. It doesn't make any difference, whatever you want to do. Now if you got this little tool, I have this little tool right here that I bought, and this works really, really well. After I got done finger pressing, I thought I'd use this one. It actually has them stick open a little bit better. And you can use either side. They're kind of like the same, I feel like. It holds it open a little bit better than just plain finger. There we go. Now we're going to lay these out. Now this is the way it looks, but if you change that pattern like I did, in other words, I didn't put two different colors here in the middle, then this one cannot be 2.5 by 2.5. I mean, excuse me, it can't be the 2 7/8, which was the extra one. It actually has to be 2.5 by 2.5. So you would have to do 2 blocks that are 2.5, because that's what size this one is and that's what size this one is. Okay? So I'm just giving you a heads up. You know, you might have to change something if you do it a little bit different. Like let's say that you fussy cutted this another color. I could have made that a solid color like purple or pink or even black for that matter. But I want it to go along with this right here. So let's go ahead and we're going to make this row first and then this row and then the third row. So you want to be careful. So what you're going to do here, now keep in mind if you look at it again, these two are like flying geese and so are these. See, the whites are together. So that means that when you put them together, one of them has to go the other direction. So I pushed everything to the white. But when it comes to do this, since I have got to nestle this, I have to push it the other direction. So it'll only take a minute. And then nestle these so they meet up so that when I sew them together, I don't lose my tip. Okay? And that's what you want to do when you put this together. Okay, so instead of just putting this row together, let's put these two together, these two, and then we can chain stitch them. And then we can add this one to that one, this one to that one, this one to that one. That way we can chain stitch. It'll be a lot faster. And yes, I did put some pins because I really had a hard time with my first one. And I thought, well, I'm going to save myself some trouble and just put some pins in here. Now, if I run into the same problem I did with the first one, I'm going to show you what I did. Every now and then, one of my seams, like this seam here, instead of going down, it should have went up. And so I fixed them all so they would lay correctly. And if that happens on this one, I'm going to show you what I did. It only takes a couple of minutes. It's not like it's long and time consuming or anything. So they're all ironed. So these two went outward and we're going to need to mark that one. And these two went inward. So we're going to take it like this. We're going to need to mark this spot right here so we don't actually lose our tip. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my pin, if I can get it to mark. So I marked it right there, so that it does not go below that color. I'll take my ruler and all I'm going to do is just mark it just like this so that I either go on it or go to the right of it but not to the left of it. And then I'll pin this and I'll make sure I get it on this side also. There we go. There it is on this side. And then we're going to make sure that we line it up and fussy cut it too. So it's two things in one. Whoops, as my pin came out. So we're fussy cutting and we're making sure we don't take our tip off. Okay. And it's kind of hard to see that dark fabric right there, but I can see it here. Okay, so let me put a pin up here at the top to hold it before I pin that. So I've got a grip on it here, so let me just hold that right there. I've got it straight, and then we're going to go downward. And downward again. And we can take this pin out. We'll go to the other end. Now there's nothing on the other. All we're doing is fussy cutting this end. And pin it. And I'm pinning it so that this here doesn't flip up. So I'll go real slow when I go across that. And then put a pin down here at the bottom to make sure it all matches up. And I think my tip, nope, I can go a little bit. Oh, I've got a little off there, so let me just clip this. I'll take care of that right there. That little bit right there. And then we'll start it right here. And that's the first row, so let's do that first. Okay, so it did not film me when I made that. Megan was standing up here and told me it did not film. She told me when it came on, which kind of upset me to no end. But I can't do anything about it now because I've already sewed it. So we're going to mark this next one, same way we did the first one. I can see the line right here where it crosses over. And over here on this one also. And then I'll have to be careful on the other side because it too has a place we don't want to lose, our tip. So I'm going to take it in here and then go right there and get it just like that and put it straight and then pin it. I'm going to do the same thing on this end as we did on the other end. Let me see. Okay, so the back side we don't have to worry about. We only have to worry about this front side right here. So I've got it fussy cut right there. And all I have to do is pin it. And it probably only needs to be pinned once. And then I'll pin it down here. And that should be it. This is the really concerned one because it's got two pieces that will match. This one, let me back up a little bit. So this has two. It has the front as well as the back. That could actually lose our tip. This one only has the front, so we don't have much to worry about it. We'll be real careful when we go through the first one. All right, now I know it's recording because I looked at it. And here we go. Coming up to my line, staying right on the line. There we go. We're just going to slowly dance our way over here to the corner, or to the tip of the fabric. There we go. And it's a save. Alright. Now for the next one. Looks nice. Look, he actually jumped that pin. Okay. Uh-oh. Gonna need a little help. There we go. There you are. Here we go, of the Mother's Choice block, and it's a flower, and I think it turned out really well. And here is the other one I made. So let me put them together. They're both the same size. I think they turned out pretty good myself. What do you guys think? I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Make a comment if you would like. Subscribe, ring the little bell, or click on the little bell so you can get notices. And I'll see you next time. Notice this one on the left has more purple towards the right side, the left side, and then on this side. And then it has a little bit of purple here and more pinkish over here on the right. Huh. I like the way that turned out at the bottom down there. And then up in here. That looks really, really nice. But I like that fabric. I really, really like this fabric anyway. Both those fabrics look really good together. So I will see y'all next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye. And then for those that have come back and watched after the video, I want to tell you I had a conversation with my sister about my mom. Now, my mom's passed away and has been gone for quite a while. And I don't know how it came up, but she said to me, "You realize that you were her favorite, don't you?" And I really never gave it a thought that I was her favorite or not. But when my sister and I got to talking, I realized that my sister and my mom did nothing together. I, on the other hand, did everything with my mom. If she went to the store, she would say, "Hey, Kathy, you want to go along for the ride?" And sure enough, I'd go. She went and did things with her friends or something, she would literally invite me, and it never made me realize that she didn't invite my sister and that my sister really wasn't doing anything. I always assumed my sister was busy and was asked first because she was the youngest of the two of us. But come to find out, my mom never asked, ever. So I'm not quite sure about the relationship, although when I was older and I was out of the house and I was married, I realized they had a very rocky relationship. I don't know if it's because I don't really, I don't know anything about my mother's past, like when she was younger. She used to say she was a wild child and all that, but back in the 30s and 40s, I don't know what the heck that meant. I was born in the 50s. I have no clue what a wild child is. And so I guess she and my sister were the same, and that's why they didn't get along. But I just thought I'd throw that out there for those that go ahead and watch the telling of these videos. So only those that will watch it to the end are going to know that kind of information. So thanks everybody for watching. And by any chance, are one of you a favorite to your mother over another? I mean, there were 2 girls and 2 boys in my family. I always felt like my youngest brother was her favorite. But that may have been because she lost a child before my little brother was born, and that's the way that I always thought of it. I never thought of her actually showing favoritism towards me over my sister. But I just wanted to add that little bit. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.